Welcome to DIYEasyCrafts.com. Today we're going to take a look at how to make ocean wave epoxy resin drink coasters. Now these coasters are simple to make. It's a very fun, easy, and pretty quick project. And all you need is some color, epoxy resin, and these are actually tiles. The finished product makes great gifts or for use in your own home. So I started with these tiles. I found these at Lowe's. You could get them anywhere. I was able to take 4 of these squares off of each tile. And basically just peeled them off the backing. And then I'm going to use an epoxy called totalboat Makerpoxy. It comes from totalboat.com. Anytime you're using a resin epoxy, the room temperature's really got to be around 70 degrees. You have to mix it per the instructions very slowly so it doesn't get too many bubbles, and for an adequate amount of time, in this case about 5 minutes. I subdivided that epoxy then into 4 separate containers. I'm going to have a dark blue, a light blue, a green, a white, and then I'm going to leave some clear in the original mixing container. Now this particular epoxy mixes 1-to-1. It's a really nice epoxy to work with. I'm going to take the dark blue and I'm just going to apply that to the tile just with a disposable paintbrush. Now you could certainly put it on there with a stirring stick. The paintbrush just works nice. The next step, and everybody does this a little bit different. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. I'm just saying that this is the way that I do mine. I add a strip of green, just kind of right along the edge of the dark blue. I'll then leave a little bit of a space and put a strip of clear. You can see that I've already added a little bit of the light blue on the opposite side of the green. And you don't have to be an artist or artistic in order to get these things to come out looking nice. It's a really, really cool technique. Anyway, right in front of the clear, I'll add a white. So the white is actually going to flow over the clear or into the clear or above the clear. And it's going to create that white frothy ocean look.
Okay, I gotta finish this.
So here's the trick. You use a hairdryer. You can use the hairdryer on cool just to move the material, to move the white so that it flows into the clear, or the green flows into the blue. And once you get it looking decent, put the hairdryer on warm. When you're on warm, you really don't want to overheat the resin. You just want to warm it up a little bit. That's going to allow that resin to create the cell structure, which really makes those white waves look really cool. And you kind of blow the white towards, or I blow the white, towards the clear and towards the waves, so that all of the different colors kind of merge. Now you can always let it dry a little bit, as long as it's still tacky, and go back and add more. I used a butane lighter just to warm up the resin. That's just another technique that you can use in order to get the cell structure. It's nice because it doesn't move the resin as much as the hairdryer does. So here you can see I've added a little bit more white, like an offshore wave. I'm going back to the hairdryer. And really quickly, really easily, you create some dramatic effects. I then let this sit overnight. This has a total cure time. It hardens in about 24 hours, but with a total cure time approaching 5 to 7 days. I like to let it sit at least, maybe 5 or 6 hours or up to 8 hours, and then I can add this top coat. And this is just another spoon, or just a plastic spoonful of that same Makerpoxy. One spoonful seems to do a tile, nicely, or just a little bit less than a spoonful. And this just adds a nice protective coating over the entire tile. And then you set these aside for a few days. I used, again, the butane lighter, not in this case to heat the resin up, but just to get rid of whatever bubbles came to the surface, so that final coat of the Makerpoxy ends up being nice and smooth and shiny. Then after I set that aside for 5 or 6 days, I went back and I just use a sander to sand off any of the epoxy that gets onto the bottom of the tile. I mean, you could certainly take the time and tape off each one, but then you have to go through the hassle of carving the tape off of the epoxy. This was just an easy way to do it. I added these little felt self-adhesive stickers. I found those at Ace Hardware. They were just a couple bucks for a pack. And this is the finished product. Very unique, one-of-a-kind ocean wave epoxy resin drink coasters. They make great gift item, a pretty easy do-it-yourself project. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I ask that you please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. By all means, check us out on the web at DIYEasyCrafts.com. I have a bunch of nautical related do-it-yourself projects, as well as some additional resin related projects. And I'd absolutely love it if you left a comment in the comments section below. Thank you very much.